Viewer beware, you're in for a scare.
Hey guys, I'm here with Cousin Chia, also
Hello.
aka Roommate Chia, and we're gonna go over our top 10 favorite
Goosebump book. I did not know what you were gonna
We grew up in the 90s and we are obviously creeps, so we read pretty much almost all. I think there's over 60 Goosebumps books. I didn't read all of them, but I read most of them.
Most of them.
Alright, number 10 on our list is Welcome to Dead House. That was the very first Goosebumps book that ever came out. It's morbid. I think it's one of the more morbid ones, which is probably what got us hooked in the first place, because it was like not entirely appropriate for really young children.
No.
Basically, zombie ghost children with a bloodlust. So it's kind of like
these kids move in on the block, this creepy kind of house, and make all these new friends, and then they discover
their friends are all dead, and they want to eat them.
Yeah.
They don't want to eat them. They just want to suck all their blood, so they can. They need blood once a year, so they can survive for the rest of the year. Like that's how they keep it going. So they're kind of like zombie / ghost / vampire kids.
That's scary.
Yeah.
I would not want them on my block. Number 9 on the list is Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. Kind of your basic mummy.
You don't fuck with the mummies. Don't mess with the mummies. You're an archaeologist, you go and you dig around in the mummy's tomb. They're cursed. Mummies' tombs are cursed.
You're screwed.
You're
screwed. You shouldn't.
Public service announcement. If you didn't know this, mummies' tombs are cursed, so just don't go digging around in them. Right?
That's,
basically. Number 8 on the list as... Alright.
Trying to help you out there.
Number 8 on the list is The Horror at Camp Jelly Jam. I have so much trouble saying that word. It always comes out horror. That's a totally different book. The Horror at Camp Jelly Jam.
That was the sequel.
The sequel,
book, right? That was the Horror at Camp
I think.
Jelly. Oh, that's what that was. Awkward. Sorry, I shouldn't know that. I shouldn't.
That was your camp experience.
That was
The Horror at Camp Jelly Jam.
That's nice.
Yeah, I was just obsessed with the idea of camp when I was a kid. I never went away to sleepaway camp, so I felt deprived. My mom was like, "Oh, we want to spend time with you," but I was just like, "No, send me to camp."
I went to a day camp.
I
always went
camp
home afterwards.
But I wanted to sneak out of my cabin and go to the lake and stuff like that.
I wanted to do that, but I would have been the loner at camp that didn't really talk to anybody or make friends.
If we would have went to camp together, we would have been fine.
We would have been the awkward, weird kids that went away together and got into shit and never really made any other friends.
And made no new friends.
And made no new friends.
Hashtag no new friends.
No. Honey, what did you do at camp? Well, basically the same shit we always do, just by the lake.
We sat together and read Goosebumps books.
We sat together and...
2 kids accidentally end up at this camp. They're in a trailer that their parents are driving, and they're in a trailer. It sounds really unsafe, actually. Is that legal? I don't think that's legal.
Well, I don't know. You probably shouldn't leave your kids unattended anywhere.
Yeah, but it should be illegal because you know why? The trailer comes unattached from the truck, and the parents just keep driving along. The trailer ends up at this camp, and that's why the kids are at the camp. I feel like if I had a trailer attached to my truck, I would notice it being unattached. I just feel like, am I not checking my rearview mirror at all? At all. You would have to literally not even. I would just have to be looking. No, I just have to be looking straight. Yeah, the whole time. With blinders on, because I feel like you somehow see it flying down the hill, in one of your mirrors in your giant truck.
You know what? I think the parents did it on purpose. Oh shucks, the kids got detached from us, honey. We're gonna have to go to Cancun this summer.
I'm gonna remember that for when I have kids. I'm gonna use that strategy. That's a good vacation strategy.
That is.
So everyone at this camp is super cheerful, weird. They're really superly competitive. Turns out the camp is run by, I think he's some kind of a blob thing. Does that sound familiar? King Jelly Jam. I think he's this weird, almost like Jabba the Hutt, but he's like a jelly jam, like a weird blob.
Okay.
But the thing is, the twist ends up being, he can't stand the smell of his own stench. Obviously, that's the usual.
Yeah.
So he takes the most athletic kids at the camp. That's why they're competing for these coins, and the most athletic kids have stamina, obviously. So they're the ones that watch him, but they're hypnotized. That's why they're doing this.
I do not remember this book at all.
It was a weird, it was leading up to all this, all these weird things are happening, and it's building and building and building, and then you find out it's a fat blob that smells weird. And then the kids are finally saved. They don't save themselves. The police randomly show up at camp, at the last second, when the 2 main characters are about to be, taken by the blob. Police show up because neighbors have been complaining about the stench.
Well, yeah, it's disgusting. That's gross.
But he has all these kids washing him. They're doing a terrible job. If the neighbors can smell the stench, that's a stinky guy.
Kids. Yeah, that's
smelly
really
guy.
bad. But imagine if they weren't there washing him, how much
Oh, then the police probably would have come
right away.
Yeah, right away.
And I know my Halloween costume.
I'm gonna carry a jar of jelly and just smack, like throw it at people.
With the crown on, with the crown on.
Yeah, and they'll be like, what are you doing?
I'm
King Jelly Jam, obviously.
Duh.
Clearly you're not a Goosebumps fan.
Number 7 on our list. We got Slappy here to help us out. Night of the Living Dummy. Terrified the hell out of me. This guy is actually really creeping me out right now. To be perfectly honest, I don't want him touching me. I don't know why he's so close.
That was one of the best ones, only because I wasn't scared of ventriloquist dolls. I've had this guy since before Goosebumps. I was pretty young when I bought him. But you guys all thought he was creepy as hell, which made it even more awesome for me.
It is, because basically like the dummy's alive and he goes and tries to kill everybody.
Well, he hasn't tried to kill me that I know of. I don't know what he does when I'm not around, but I think I'm safe. I take good care of him.
You're safe. I don't feel safe sitting next to you in the next room with this guy around. Just
Is that why you've been locking your door with like all those?
That's why you found him with like a gag and like his arms tied up and my door locked.
Well, then you're gonna upset him. You're gonna piss him off, and then he's gonna come after you. Was he facing that way before?
I
felt like he was like looking
his
straight.
arm was not there either.
Now I feel like he's like. Number 6 on our list is The Girl Who Cried Monster.
This one really stands out to me because of the Goosebumps show that they had.
It traumatized.
It
didn't stand out to you. It traumatized.
It traumatized me.
Just call it what it is.
I just have a vivid memory of the librarian eating flies as the girl's watching him. But it does have one of the best twists, I think, in all of the Goosebumps.
Totally. That's one of my favorite ones.
Yes. When the parents invite the guy over to dinner to find out what's going on because the kids don't think that they believe him. And then the librarian guy says, "What's for dinner?" And the father says,
"You are."
Ah, yeah. And everybody in the household are monsters, and the parents devour the guy, and the kids are all happy about it. It's really a happy ending if you think about it.
That's very happy. It was sweet. That was a sweet one.
It was family bonding. Number 5 on the list is A Night in Terror Tower. This one's about some kids who visit London, and I don't know what they're doing off on their own, but their parents aren't around.
They're on a tour. They're taking in some history.
And as they're on their tour, they see this hooded guy following them around, all dressed in black. This happens, that happens. They end up going back in time, some magic stone or some other, and they get locked up in Terror Tower.
Yes.
And are told that they are the niece and nephew of the king.
Yes.
And are about to be executed.
They're sent to like medieval times, and they find out they're niece and nephew of the king, and some more shit happens. But before they're actually beheaded or executed, whatever the Axeman is going to do to them, they're sent back to present time.
This wizard helps them out with a magical stone again.
And they see the wizard in present time. They're back on the tour in present time, and they see the wizard from medieval times, and he's now in present day with them. That one's a little cloudy, but I do remember really liking that one just because it was so much like... It was different than other.
I like time travel. I like medieval.
You, Doctor Who, you like time travel?
My one, well, no. One of my many nerdy qualities, Doctor Who.
We're gonna find you a Doctor Who boyfriend on this from this video.
Waiting for a madman
Send
in a
fan
blue
mail.
box.
Single. Number 4 is Let's Get Invisible, which makes me want to sing Let's Get Physical, but change the words to Let's Get Invisible. Invisible, visible. I wish I could do like an effect where like,
you get invisible.
well, one where I'm wearing like Olivia Newton-John outfit, but then I go invisible as I'm singing that song.
Okay.
I'll work on that for next year's vlogs. This is one of my favorite ones. I kind of, in my head, I mix this one with Say Cheese and Die, which is coming up on our list. But in my head, they were kind of the same thing. Oh, but these kids find a magical mirror in the attic, and they pull this switch on the mirror, and it makes it go invisible. Super cool, right? We totally would have loved that. Best toy to have as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
Now.
They do all kinds of cool stuff. Yeah, I would totally buy that if they had it now. Obviously, this mirror has a downfall. Super cool going invisible. Kids decide to have a competition to see who can stay invisible the longest. Sounds like a great idea. Terrible idea. They start to have problems, and it takes them longer and longer to become visible each time they do this. And then they start to notice weird things. Like they'll come back and the mom will notice the kid doing something. There's just odd behavior going on.
Something happened.
Some stuff happens. They realize the reflections are trying to take over. So, obviously, they destroy the mirror, conquer it.
Yeah.
At the very end, there's a twist. But wait. They're playing catch in the backyard. Everything is back to happily ever after. One of the main characters, Lefty, because he's left-handed, is playing catch, throws the ball with his right hand, the end. Boom. That was one of the best twists in that. That was one of my favorite ones. I remember being like, what? Because I really believed that everything was fixed. Mind equals blown.
Nothing's ever always fixed in the Goosebumps books. Alright, number 3 on our list is The Haunted Mask. Definitely one of my favorites. And again, I remember this one from the TV show. Super scary mask. This green, like goblin-y looking thing. So cool. So basically this girl finds this mask, puts it on, and then she like, she take it off once, or just get stuck to her face right away?
No, she takes it off a few times.
I think, right? And it's just like something with the mirror. Same thing with the mirror, where like progressively it gets harder.
Right.
To like it starts to form to her face and become part of her face.
Like sucks onto her skin, and she realizes it's harder and harder to take it off. But it starts affecting her behavior too. Like
she becomes like a monster.
Yeah.
Do you remember how she ends up getting it off, or the twist, or?
I don't. I just remember the concept of it just sticking to your face and wanting to peel it off, but you're becoming that thing. I just thought that was so cool. Well, because I like to dress up a lot when I was a kid too, so that one scared the crap out of me because
every time you put on a Halloween mask, you're like,
I was waiting for it to like stick to my skin, but it didn't happen. Number 2 on the list is Say Cheese and Die. I spoiled it a little bit before, but
it wasn't number 1. You're forgiven.
This one, I feel like a lot of these are Twilight Zone-ish, or kind of touch upon stories that are in Twilight Zone. This one in particular, though, there's a Twilight Zone episode that's exactly this, but it's different enough to where it's still a cool original concept.
Like a kid's version.
Yeah. So again, these kids find an antique camera. When they take pictures with it, the picture doesn't match what they're actually looking at. And as time progresses, they realize the picture is of something that's going to happen in the future. And it looks like it's good things, like winning the lottery or whatever, like cool things that you would want to happen to you, but it's actually like really horrible versions of those things.
Yeah, like you always got that evil twist going on with
Monkey's Paw, kind of.
Yes.
Be careful what you wish for, which is another Goosebumps book, actually.
Yeah, Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
We did not put that
on
our
list.
But I like it. It's a good one.
When there's over 60 books, it's kind of hard to narrow it down to like 10, especially because we read these like 20 years ago.
Yeah, and I feel like if I reread them now, I'd have probably
different favorites?
kind of a different favorite.
Yeah. No, my number 1 would still be
my number 1's gonna be my number 1 always.
Forever.
That's just it.
All right, so we're ready to get to number 1?
Yes.
Our number 1, drum roll, is One Day at HorrorLand.
Everything you need in one book. Creepy Carnival, yes please. And in fact, we always thought that they should open a HorrorLand.
Oh, I would so be.
I would go there. I would work there.
I'd work there.
We would own it.
We would own it. Yeah, actually, let's just.
If anybody wants to invest in a HorrorLand,
this is actually going to lead into our Kickstarter video where we are asking for funding to open HorrorLand.
Yeah, we're going to open HorrorLand.
That's a great idea. This is basically if Disneyland was run by ghouls. The rides try to kill you, but they don't. They just kind of scare you into it. And this was a cool twist, I thought. Do you remember the twist on this one?
I'm trying to remember.
It turns out they're on a hidden camera show.
Yes.
But for ghouls.
Yes.
It's like Monster TV.
Uh-huh.
And monsters watch these humans on a hidden camera show thinking they're going to be killed by these rides and freaking out, and then they go and it's like this weird game show at the end.
I would also watch that show.
I would totally watch that show.
Watch that, yeah.
So we need funding for our HorrorLand theme park and also for our Ghoul Gang hidden camera television show. It's a working title. We'll work on that.
Yes. And the video game that came out, the HorrorLand video game. Oh, I love that.
That was fun.
We have to find that.
That was
somewhere.
scary. I need to reorder that. There's like the one where you burn the vampires with the flashlight. That one was scary because they're just like coming at you.
And then you know what? Scary. I remember having one for my PC like a long time ago. They had a HorrorLand one. I had that because remember I had the Are You Afraid of the Dark
That's
game,
what I'm thinking
which
of.
was terrifying. Yes. But I also had a HorrorLand one
that
was like that too, where you'd go to different parts of the park and kind of like try to.
I don't think I ever got to play that one with you guys.
I wish I could find it.
Let's bring it back. We'll like go to the thrift store and get like a 1992 PC and set it up in the dining room just so we can play One Day at HorrorLand.
Yes.
And Are You Afraid of the Dark?
And that was terrifying. I could not play that alone.
I'd probably still be scared to play those.
Yeah, that was
not gonna lie. Alright, now you guys have heard our top 10. Let us know what your picks are, which ones we missed. I know we missed a ton of them because it was hard for us to narrow it down.
It really was.
So tell us in the comments below what your favorites are. See you next time.
Bye.